Flair from La Flair Parkour. I am 26 years old, born and raised on Long Island, New York, and now live in Los Angeles, California. I've been training parkour for a little over 6 years. Parkour means a lot to me. It's something that's sort of changed my life and allowed me to see the potential that I have and drive for my goals. I mean, parkour is really about knowing your limits and then trying to surpass those limits. And through training in parkour, I've realized personally that I am able to do things that I never thought I could do, which has also given me the advantage to go for things that I would be normally afraid to go for. So I learned to set my goals higher and learn how to accomplish them in a real, solid way. For me, I think parkour, if we're gonna separate the two, because I think here in America, parkour is both of those things. But if you're gonna be technical about it, I think parkour is really the idea of movement. It's efficiency. It's being strong. It's being mentally strong and being able to get from point A to point B your fastest and most efficient way possible. And free running is really the art of it, right? And I've said it once, and I don't know how true it actually is, but I don't think free running could exist without parkour. Parkour could exist without free running, however. So if we're going to talk about free running, it's the artistic movement. It is the flow. It is the flips. It is being creative in your environment and sort of creating an art piece with movement. If we attached lights to ourselves and moved through an environment, it would create a painting. And that's what free running is to me. I've never been cited or arrested for practicing parkour. I've obviously been told to get down, and I think that's something that our society sees what we're doing as destructive. And as long as we make it a point to not make it destructive and not leave garbage at places we train or do things like that, we can continue to get this positive light shined on us. For me, the media has sort of constructed this image about parkour and made it into this real dangerous sport. So when people see us doing anything that they can relate to what they think it is, they think we're being dangerous and destructive. But it's our job to show them that we're not, and that we're there to practice and become stronger and to make an impact. I think music and training they go hand in hand. For me, I'm on the dubstep kick. It's just something that moves with you and you move with it, right? It's fast paced. It's interesting. There's drops. So if you're going to get yourself hyped up for a move, that's a little bigger than you naturally do. I think the music can drive you and get your energy and confidence flowing a little bit more. But with that being said, every once in a while I like to switch it up, go a little bit like metal-ish, like Kill Switch Engaged or something like that. So get the other side of my energy going. So this is a question, my YouTube channel gets a lot of hits and a lot of comments, and I get a lot of questions regarding who can do parkour or, different things. So one of the questions is, am I too young? Am I too old? Am I too fat? Am I too skinny? Am I, all these different things of am-I's, right? And in my opinion, I think the question is being asked because they're not seeing parkour for what it is. And I recently started thinking about this, and for me, they're asking because they see it as this dangerous big thing, right? Am I too young to do parkour? What you're asking me is, are you too young to do a roof gap? Yes, probably, because you've never trained gaps, right? So, no, I think anyone can do parkour, and it's just you need to understand that we don't start up there, right? We start from the ground and we work our way up, okay? So. You know, this is the #1 question on my YouTube channel. What shoes should I get? What shoes should I get? I'm actually putting together a video right now of all the different athletes I train with talking about shoes. And the one thing that I'm discovering is that they all say the same thing. You just need a pair of sneakers, right? There are shoes that are specifically designed for parkour, and yes, good grip will help. Grip on rails, walls, painted surfaces. Certain shoes offer this better than others. Lighter shoes are obviously better. But as long as you have a running sneaker, and to be honest, you don't even need that. A lot of people train barefoot. I would say it's a more advanced training technique. But if you guys are just starting out, get a pair of sneakers, start playing, feel it out, and then if those shoes for some reason didn't work out, try another pair. You know, I'm kind of floating. I just picked up a pair of Foss 500s. They're Pumas, I think. But I'm not really a big shoe guy. Like I said, I train in whatever I get. So I'll look up, I'll see if someone reviewed them and said, these shoes worked for me. And I'll go, okay, I'll try those as long as they're cheap. I try not to pay more than 50 bucks for a pair of shoes because I'm just going to destroy them anyway. In school, I sort of floated quite a bit. I was one of those guys that got along with a lot of different groups. My studies, in school, I did a lot of art. But outside of school, I was doing a lot of extreme sports. So if you want to relate me with anyone, it'd kind of be like that skater group. You know, did dirt jumping, skating, aggressive inline skating, rollerblading, all that stuff. So that would be the group I guess I was associated with most. I wouldn't say that I was ever really bullied in high school. When I was in high school, I actually had a pretty low self-esteem. I had depression issues, things like that. I think things that a lot of people go through because they have a trouble seeing themselves in the future and what they're going to make of themselves. So if I guess anyone was bullying me, it was probably myself more than anyone else. So I discovered parkour. I was in college. I was 20 years old. I was studying more art. And I had noticed a group of kids that were kind of doing some stuff, jumping around. I really wasn't even sure what they were doing. But coming from an extreme sports background, I was like, this is whatever it is, I'm there. So I jumped in and I was able to do a backflip off of a ledge at that point. So first thing I'd do, I'd go over there, I was like, hey guys, what's up? Throw a backflip, and they look at me and they're like, what are you doing? Whoa, 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 that's not working. You just landed. Like, all of a sudden, they were like, I was like, well, what do you mean? Aren't I doing what you guys are doing? And that's when they explained to me that they're doing parkour, and what they're doing is safe and efficient, right? They're training and not hucking stunts. And I don't know, it sort of just changed my whole mental aspect. And once they started talking about how it's not just physical and it's mental, and after the next day of training with them, that was it. It was what I wanted to do. So my YouTube channel is youtube.com/La Flair Parkour. I created it just in the beginning to put up some videos so I can see my own progression, get some words of wisdom from other people who were training at the time, and started getting a few views. So I made some more videos as I got a little bit better. Then I started to get a little bit of a following. Some kids were liking the videos. And then something happened. I started to put up tutorials. And I did this because I knew from my point of view, I was looking at YouTube for tutorials. I was searching for things to help me learn. And the things I were coming up with were like slow motion clips of a move saying, this is it. And I'm going, okay, so how do you do that? So my whole aspect of it was coming in, making super detailed tutorials. You know, details that you're not gonna learn unless you try, right? So there's some of them are kind of long, but through my experience and the comments that I received back from a lot of people that are using them, they learn them quick and easy, and they're safe because they know exactly how to do it and what they're doing wrong instantly. So it's been really, really good for me to give back to a community that gave me so much. And I know it's just so cool to see all these kids that are learning and telling me that I've inspired them and that my videos will help them start this journey into, you know, something that I think is going to change their life forever. So, yeah. I think if you're just getting started in parkour, there's one thing that you really need to keep in mind. Is start slow and have fun. Okay? What we're doing is fun. Everyone that you see that's good and is made a name for themselves or anything like that, we didn't get into it because it was something that other people were doing and we needed to do it. We did it, we started because it was fun. And we continue to do it because it's fun. So if you're going out there and you're thinking, God, I can't do this 15-foot wall climb, and you're kicking yourself in the butt, then you're not having fun. You're not realizing that what we do is progress, right? We can't, I always say you have to learn to fall before you can attempt to fly, right? So we have to start from the ground and work our way up gradually, right? So if you can only do a 5-foot precision, don't be mad at yourself because you can't do a 10-foot one. Just set your goal to do a 6-foot one. And then once you realize that now you can do a 6-foot one, you just set a new limit. Okay, 6 foot's your limit. Move on to 7, move on to 8. All of a sudden you'll be at that 10 mark. And it'll be incredible. Safety tips. You need to be as safe as you possibly can. I think one thing for us more advanced guys, something that I see causes injury to us is usually the objects themselves. We learn how to fall, and that's one thing everybody should do, right? We need to learn how to roll, break falls. We need to understand the physics behind taking big drops and the way our body works with the energy that's coming down and across and all over the place, right? But check your objects. Always be sure, even if it's a cement wall, who knows, you know, what the structure on the inside is. So always check everything you're using. Don't just go for anything crazy. Know your outs. This is one thing that I teach quite a bit. If you're gonna go for something, be confident in it. Confidence comes from an understanding of your movement and also knowing how you can get out of it if something goes wrong, right? So be sure to know what's under you, what if your foot slips, where you're going to go, what kind of cat grab you're going to drop into. So know your outs, know your objects, know your movement, and take it slow. Warming up is super important. Someone once said to me, I think it was a gym teacher in like elementary school, it kind of stuck with me for some weird reason. He said your muscles are like a piece of old gum. If you just bend the gum in half, it's gonna snap, right? But if you stick it in your mouth and warm it up, you can stretch it out and it becomes a lot more elastic, right? So that's sort of what our muscles do. If we warm up, our muscles will then become more elastic and we can dramatically increase or decrease the chance of getting injured, right? Or pulling or straining or snapping any ligaments or anything like that. So definitely be sure to warm up. Be creative in your warm-ups. Have fun with it. You know, QMs are a great way to warm up the full body. QM, quadrupedal movement, is a great way to get all of your muscles engaged at once. And then warming down, I definitely suggest stretching after you finish. Get your muscles more relaxed, all the tension out, and it'll make it way easier to wake up the next morning and go train again the next day. The future of parkour. Let's see. One thing I said a couple years ago that is becoming more and more true is that I said that parkour is like skateboarding. And then I also said that it would eventually be the skateboarding of the next generations, you know, the culture of skateboarding for our next generation. And it's happening. I keep hearing more and more kids saying how their friends are stopping skateboarding and they're now moving to parkour. And though I don't, I'm not trying to hate on skateboarding, I love skateboarding, I do it myself. I love the fact that it's coming true. Parkour and skateboarding are so related in their cultural beginnings and the competition aspects. If you look at skateboarding, you'd look back and you'd see like the Dogtown guys and all these ground, they were skating for soul, and purists of parkour would say parkour is for soul, and that they were against competition. So was skateboarding. But now look at skateboarding. Competitions, X Games, Olympics. Is it an Olympics yet?
I'm not sure, is it? Well, let's just say, we'll figure that out later, yeah. X Games.
So skateboarding has become this huge cultural thing, and there's skate parks everywhere. It's just cool. Kids can go do that. They have a place to train with skateboarding. Well, that's where I think parkour is going. I think it's starting to happen. We're starting to get a few parkour gyms. Overseas, they have parkour playgrounds. And best case scenario, I mean, it is the next skateboarding. It is going to be an X Games. It is going to have huge competitions and funding that are going to pay athletes, guys who love to do this, and it's going to allow them to live on it. And I think that's cool. A lot of people that are against competition need to understand it's what's going to drive us and pay us to continue to do what we love for a long time. So we'll go worst case scenario. I don't think there is a worst case scenario with parkour. It's not going anywhere negative. If anything, the media is painting this picture of it being these big, dangerous stunts. But with the way that the younger generation is taking parkour and free running in this certain direction of talent and control. I mean, I'm watching these little kids who have these older guys who've been doing it now, who had no one to teach them, being taught by them, and they're getting so good, so quick. They're safe, they're strong, it's just great. So I don't think there's a negative place where parkour will go. Okay, so my final thoughts on everything is really, you guys know what to do, right? You have internet, use it. It's a huge tool that I still think gets overlooked quite a bit. A lot of people ask me to find places for them to train, right? Because I've done Parkour Spots videos and I used Google Maps and stuff like that. Well, you have Google Maps too, you have these resources. Use your maps. Use the internet to find people to train with. Use the internet to watch videos and tutorials and to learn. And don't forget to give back, right? My favorite part of this sport or this lifestyle, whatever you want to call it, is that this community of parkour athletes is so strong. And working at the Tempest Free Running Academy, I see it all the time. You'll have a new kid that comes in that doesn't know how to do anything, and I'll watch other guys that have been there for a few months or even longer go up to him and show him how to do something. And that is one thing that I think parkour right now has over a lot of other sports, and it's the community of it all. So please keep that. Please keep this sport as a safe and credible thing that other people can continue to get into and change their lives with.